And we are rolling down the river. So, I've just seen, well, actually, a couple of days ago, but I've just seen this funny video from Devon, where he was giving people, tips and pointers on how to look massive in their profile pics. And I just thought of giving you my 2 cents on the subject. Why? Because back in the day when I did not look like this, like a fucking twig, and I was like this jack meathead of a teenager, I used to have like shit tons of ways to make myself look even more impressive. And I was using this, I don't know, whenever I was walking down the street and I was seeing my reflection in like any shop window or mirror or whatever, I was that much of a douchebag. I still probably am, but no longer. I no longer have something to work with. But I'll fix that in the future. However, for now, let me tell you why these things that I want to also share with you work for a fact. Well, not just because they work back in the day, but also because they work today when, first of all, I'm like this due to not training in a few centuries, and also because I purposely did not do anything today, like right now before the video, to help get like a pump or whatever, which if you do, whatever I'm showing you right now and whatever Devon showed you, if you kind of like buff yourself out for like 10 minutes prior to the photo shooting, it's not something I have to tell you. You know what tremendous gains you'll have. And this actually has like an exponential effect based on just how lean you are. If you're not very lean, it won't be so significant. But if you're lean as a mother, this will help tremendously. But when it comes to arms, especially, here's what you can do. Again, no pump. If you add the pump, it's even better. But when you are standing from the side, you can see that the arm usually kind of is like this, cylinder. It doesn't really have like extreme shapes on one side and nothing on the other. It's kind of like a cylinder going around with few exceptions. And this is like with fully straightened arm, right? So you can see how pathetic it looks at this point. But when I said that there's nothing like on one side versus the other, that's actually what we'll try to do right now. So we want to take the cylinder and we want to flatten it like on this side, and we want to make it super big and wide on like this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my arm, press it against my body and rib cage and whatever, and lats and whatever, and I will try to make all of these parts from like the brachial here and the bicep and the tricep, especially the inner heads. I'm gonna try to pop all of them out towards the front so that all of the muscle groups kind of go where you can see them. Obviously that's a fake width of the arm, but whatever works, right? So when you take your arm, and again, you have to experiment with this, and I'm no longer lean. I so wish I would have done this video like 10 years ago when the results would have been like, what the fuck? But right now, I have gap, right? So I'm slowly starting to touch. It already looks a lot better, and now when I start pressing in, already my twig of a hand looks, a lot better. And now if you're also starting to flex a little bit, and again, I'm not so lean no more, so that you can see all the cuts in the delts and the tricep, that shoe horse thing. And also I lack the fucking veins on my bicep, which I always had. and also the brachial muscle is not popping out as much. But that's why I said that if you're super lean, just like I'm not right now, but if you're super lean and if you're doing this after a pump, you will get crazy fucking results, right? So it's just gonna be like a world of difference. I actually think that this, yeah, that was my elbow popping, but this is already like a fucking world of difference compared to what the the arm in its natural state is. Obviously, I'm also trying to exaggerate here just a little bit to show it like severely skinny, but that's how it is. But yeah, going from like this, talking to people, and doing all sorts of stupid shit with your hands, which give it this floppy look with no muscle on it, going into like this type of thing and out angling and stuff like that, it makes a lot of difference. And also when it comes to forearms, again, oh man, if you get a pump for the forearms and you're lean, fucking out. It's like a tree trunk that just appears out of nowhere. So you wanna, just like when people are measuring, like in arm wrestling, they're measuring their forearms. Usually if you want to measure the forearm, you'd measure it like this, right? Straighten out. Just like if you really want to know how big your bicep is, you're kind of measuring it like this. Actually, not the bicep, the arm, because obviously you're measuring everything else. But obviously people are doing this, which increases the size drastically. Like even for myself, like I go from like, I don't know, sixth grader measurements to like almost light to middleweight measurements just by doing this. So you want to pack your forearms close like this and then slowly turning them outwards. And by the way, while I'm in this position, if anyone is able out there to tell me what the fuck is this muscle, because although I'm an anatomy book, as I like to consider myself, I have no idea why this thing pops right here. And trust me, it is a muscle. It's not something that is fucked up inside or whatever. It's just like it has a very strange insertion point versus the right one, where let's say I also kind of have this, but here the separation in the around with the tendons and going into the elbow joint with the ligaments, it has a completely different spacing. So anyway, off the fucking point, for you, this is what you want to do. Or if you want to go for the kill, you want to sort of combine them. And for example, I'll do it on both sides. I'll tell you why. Because my left arm is bigger than my right, but my left forearm is smaller than my right. So it's kind of like a weird imbalance. I have the same with the legs. Left thigh bigger, but left calf is smaller and whatever. So you either want to go here. So for example, for me now, the arm will be a bit more impressive, but the forearm not so much. Whereas probably, I have no idea because I haven't tested this, but here on the right, it's like less of an impressive arm, but more of an impressive forearm. And like I said, you can play with the angles, but you get what I'm saying. Right forearm is definitely bigger than the left. Vice versa for the arms. So that's kind of like my tip, collection of tips, if you will, for picks. Like I said, if you get a pump, if you're super lean, if you get like some baby fucking oil on your arm, which is already going into like weirdo zone, but hey, I used to do it. We all used to do it back in the day. And we looked like fucking gigolos, and for the untrained eye, or for the uneducated people, we looked like we were about to step or we just stepped off from the Olympia stage, but you know, like that's until you see those guys. Not even those guys, like even amateur bodybuilders, they just smoke you out of the water. You and your big fucking arms, you're like this compared to them. It's just a fucking optical illusion. That's what you have to understand. Bodybuilding itself, even those guys, like yeah, on one hand they're bigger than you think, but on the other hand, like the top Mr. O, he's actually smaller than you think. Even with guys in our sport, I remember very recently when Michael was with Devon in Dubai, I kind of got the impression from what he was saying that, well, first of all, yeah, obviously everyone was like in awe, like he's super big, and he is, don't get me wrong, but I kind of got the impression that Michael also felt like after the initial shock, kind of went away. He was like, he's probably, I mean, he's not that big. It's not something that no one has ever seen walking on planet Earth. He's amongst the biggest, but he's not that big. I guess you know what I'm saying. So again, it's an illusion, and with Levon, it's the rest of his build that give you that Hulk illusion, like with the neck and the traps insertions and overall his chest and whatever. Same with Dennis, right? With the wrist size, the finger girth and everything else, right? So yeah, again, at least for normal people like us, every inch, every half of an inch, every millimeter counts, every vein that you can expose counts if you want to have impressive photos. Although again, it kind of defeats the point because that's not who you are. It's not like you look like that whenever you're taking a dump or eating or just sleeping. But yeah, we like to groom our egos and we like to put those things on the web. So without further ado, because I'm blabbering for way too long, past my actual picture tips, whatever, let me know what you guys think, if you found this somehow weirdly helpful, or if you think this is just a complete waste of time and bullshit of a video. Yeah, just tell me what you thought. And Devon, if you ever see this video, although I doubt you ever will, yeah, shout out to you. I hope one day we can hopefully I don't know, have a chat, have a handshake at most, because I don't want to get permanently damaged. And who knows, yeah, if we would ever get to spend like 5 minutes together, that would be super awesome. You'd get the honor of spending time with the twig. I'm kidding. Honor would all be mine, as I'm sure it would be for the rest of the fucking world, especially the arm wrestling world, right? So anywho, I'm off on way too many tangents here, so for now, I will just fucking close the video, eh? What are they? It's still, yeah, it's, yeah, I need to get some moisture on this fucking thing. It's, yeah, very professional of me, yeah. I'll try to close it now. So sorry.